Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OT Today show. Today's guest is none other than Dr. Gillen, a professor and program director at the Columbia University College of Physician and Surgeon. A pioneer in occupational therapy, Dr. Gillen has been in the field for over 25 years and has more than 100 publications, including textbooks, lectures, and peer-reviewed research, and is this year's Eleanor Clarke Slagle keynote speaker. Here to talk to us about his speech titled A Fork in the Road, an Occupational Hazard. Please join me in welcome Dr. Gillen. So, first off, congratulations on being this year's keynote speaker for the Eleanor Clarke Slagle lecture in the national meeting of AOTA. Now tell me, when presented in this opportunity, what brought you to the concept of a fork in the road?
So first of all, thank you. I was really excited for the opportunity. But to answer your question, as we all know, our profession is relatively young, and in this short time span, we have made tremendous strides. However, we have also had a few forks in the road, where we have lost sight of our identity as well as confidence in our methods to include intervention and assessment approaches.
So tell us about this proverbial fork in the road. Were there any significant events that happened in history that caused the profession to make these changes?
Yes, there were. So occupational therapy was first recognized as a profession in 1917, and at this time it was our clear focus and normalcy to engage clients in the actual doing and the actual practice. Now, flash forward to the 1950s to early 1960s. The Vietnam War was in full swing, and it was the start of the social reform decade as demonstrations became more common, dealing with many issues including civil rights, racial integration, recognition of diverse lifestyles, and rights of minorities. The 1960s occupational therapists started to develop the ideas that the therapist's hands are the key to recovery. The focus was mainly spent on pre-functional activities rather than functional activities. In this time, pre-functional was the preference rather than occupation-based activities. This caused us to take the path that was different from our normalcy in order to appear more sophisticated.
Great, thank you. So now I do have a couple questions from the audiences as well.
Yes, I had one question. Can you explain to me what events caused occupational therapy to come back to its normalcy?
I can. So in the 1990s, the client-centered paradigm provided the opportunity for us as a profession to conduct scientific research to prove our practices are in fact effective, even if it appears as we are just playing games and doing arts and crafts. The overload of evidence-based research validated how influential the interventions being utilized were more effective than the reductionistic era of therapists doing.
Great. I have a question as well. Why do occupational therapists do occupation best? Why is it that this job can't be absorbed by another discipline?
That's a great question. So occupational therapists do occupation best because it is at our profession's core that occupation improves health and wellness and is our ultimate goal, which you will not find in any other discipline. Now, there has been many times in our profession's lifespan that we have encountered professional blurring, but based on evidence, if we can return to normalcy of active, repetitive doing activities with our clients, there will be no one who will do what we do.
Great, those are all good questions and thanks for answering. So what would you want the next generation of occupational therapists to take with them moving forward into the OT journey?
So the main message that I presented during my speech was the return to normalcy as an occupation-based therapy. The therapy that involves the client actually doing instead of the therapist doing. Us as occupational therapists need to regain the focus to applying real-world tasks in the correct environment context. In addition, while returning to the normalcy, let's also utilize new evidence-based research that has been provided to practitioners to help eliminate or improve techniques previously used in therapy. Our goal is to assist the client in relearning the desired skill through repetition, practicing, and skill building. We as OTs need to embrace our history and our identity as experts in occupation.
Great, so that's all we have for today at the OT Today Show. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Gillen. Join us next week for another OT segment.